Another Mii player has hit top 8 at a Super Major, and today it wasn't Mii Brawler, and unfortunately it wasn't Mii Sword Fighter yet, but today we're going to be covering Sir Alexander aka Lammers' run into top 8 at Port Priority with solo Mii Gunner, which is crazy. Mii Gunner has a ton of bad matchups. I feel like the best result we've seen from this character ever was probably, I think Capitancito got 9th at a Shine, and then Capitancito also got like 3rd place at one of the Texas tournaments that wasn't technically a major, but like beat Meister and stuff. So today we're going to be watching Lammers beat 2 PGR or Lumi rank top 50 players, which is going to be, or I guess that's technically alt rank now because Luminosity, whatever. Monty's Game & Watch, so it's very funny that 2 times I've covered Mii Gunner, both of them have been against a Game & Watch, and then versus Oshimo's Ryu, which those matchups seem pretty difficult for Gunner, so let's see how Lammers did it. The crazy thing about this run to 7th place is honestly the fact that Lammers, because I'm just going to be calling him Lammers, I'm also making my thing a little smaller, Lammers literally lost to 1st and 2nd place of the whole tournament in Zomba and Sonic. So really good run. Didn't get like upset by anyone crazy, and like had a long losers run, which that happened a couple times that we're going to be covering, especially in Jagabata. Lost to a Wolf in Pools and then made it all the way to 9th place, I believe, or 7th. One of them. I don't remember. But yeah, so Mii Gunner is seen as definitely, well, wasn't seen as the worst Mii, I think, since, oh no, an SD, that's unfortunate. I wonder if that was supposed to be a red fireball. Not 100% sure, but obviously Mii Gunner is going to be the campy character, right? You do have the grenade, the little drop bomb, missiles, like the pretty standard set. I think this is just the normal set. I think maybe you switch to laser in certain matchups, but overall you definitely play this set. Hard to pin down, doesn't do a ton of combos, but the damage does add up, and the positional advantage that this character can get is like pretty intense. Tatsu hitting backwards, that probably should have been the kill. I don't know why that didn't work. Doesn't combo off that grenade, didn't recognize the fact that it was going to hit, so the grab whiffed, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think that this character definitely can struggle to, 1, close out stocks, but 2, get out of bad positions, right? You have up B out of shield, which is kind of interesting. I think that was an accident. And that is going to be an up smash for Oshimo. So 2 accidents leading to 2 stocks, one of them a little bit more impactful, but obviously the main thing is that forward air will help you get out of dodge really easily, so it actually is very hard to pin Gunner down, right? And there are a lot of situations that are like not necessarily super good for Mii Gunner, but just like, hey, this is a mix-up, deal with it, or this is like a defensive mix-up, are you going to be ready to catch like the grab? And then of course the ledge trap with this smoke bomb is going to be absolutely insane, one of the best ledge trapping moves in the entire game. There is a gap obviously, but if you don't time it correctly, or if you had already grabbed the ledge, it can be an issue. Getting out of the corner going to seem to be a little bit difficult right now. You see Oshimo going all the way off stage for that, but it is going to let Mii Gunner have the stage control yet again, which I don't know if that was worth it. I mean, obviously if he got the hit, it would have killed, so like if it worked, it would have been like, wow, that was so good by Oshimo. But oh yeah, nice up tilt. Mii Gunner, even though I did say struggles to kill, has a couple of good kill moves, right? You do have, oh, another back air attempt, but you do have that up tilt, up smash, down tilt, you know, up air sometimes, because sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. I mean, it's a cross-up move, so it's one of those things where if crossed up, it is really good. If not crossed up, you can, you know, DI kind of like Rob's up air. Yeah, slowly tagging on the percent right now. I've just been talking theory most of this time in the game. But yeah, also going to be a little bit hard to ledge trap if you are able to throw out the projectiles that you need. Nice nair by Oshimo, just because you'll have to like shield or like hit the projectiles, which can kind of be difficult, and then it's going to like create a different timing. Back air going to come out, so now the stage control is in Lammers' favor, and again, the ledge trapping is very good for Mii Gunner because of that smoke bomb. Nice parry though. Oshimo trying his best to get in on this funky character, but right now is kind of unable to, tagging on a lot of percent 64. I would feel like I'm pretty uncomfortable already, but I would say like you're okay before like 80%. So Oshimo definitely can get like 1 good hit and get most of this comeback, but read the roll and also got some extra damage from that, whatchamacallit, from the bomb, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think back throw does 26. Yeah, dude, that did so much damage. That was crazy because of the explosions, because it got literally the hit of the explosion and the back throw. Super good. 90% is the lead right now. Shield pressure, and of course that can lead to shield pokes with the forward air, with the grenades. So, you know, you got to be careful with your shield damage. Something I feel like that was really important this tournament in general is shield damage, knowing how Louis Money versus Tori Guri ended as well. Trying to get some damage right now. Ashimo keeping this ledge trap, and obviously if there's a spike, it will be the game, but runs into that grenade, so now the stage control is in favor of Lammers yet again. I'm stage control, I mean just like not immediately off stage. Nice back throw there. The mix-up's going to be very strong. Up air, up tilt? No, and it goes for up air down smash. The drag down is a combo there, so that is going to be game 1 for Sir Alexander, aka Lammers. I don't know if he's actually changing his tag, so I'm just calling him Lammers for now, but either way, very strong me gunner from NorCal. Also, I don't know why Sir Alexander and whatchamacallit, Capitancito call their me Lakeisha. I don't understand. If anyone can enlighten me in the comments, I would appreciate it. I genuinely don't get it. Oh, I didn't even notice. Ashimo switching to Ken, wanting this more rushdown character slightly faster, slightly better at getting in there, and obviously against a zoner of, you know, me gunner, that's going to be nice, and immediately has a 0 to death, basically not getting hit a single time. Nice 45% combo though by me gunner. That's a lot of damage for this character. And I do like that these nairs can beat through these projectiles. That's one of the reasons I thought the matchup would be pretty good, is you do have these lingering aerials that will beat out these projectiles, just because that's how projectiles work against aerials, unless it's a really, really strong projectile, like a Samus charge shot or something like that. Okay, does get the roll. So these projectiles coming out a little bit more in force now, 95 to 30. Hasn't taken that much percent after that first stock, so if Lammers is able to get something, it can be pretty good for him. Going to cancel that, so Ashimo having the pressure. Again, the ledge trap not going to be as effective when that grenade is there because of that time, so I understand him going for this basically every time. I think that is absolutely correct, which is why you saw Ashimo go for the little follow-ups when it comes to that, or like the edge guards. Ooh, that up smash would have been so good to break through the focus after that missile. And then knowing all these spots for the different edge guards and edge traps, that's going to be another upper drag down. Actually didn't combo. I guess maybe because he had double jump, it wasn't going to combo, and that sure you will kill 3 stocks to 1 for Ashimo. Again, I don't actually know how this set plays out. I just know that, you know, Lammers wins because he did not beat Zomba and he did not beat Sonics, and I saw those 2 things in the YouTube videos. Either way, this is looking very strong for Ashimo. 82% on last stock. This would have to be perfect play from Lammers at this point. No double jump. Could have been an edge guard. Not quite. Trying to do that F tilt for the ledge trap is Ashimo because it will hit the ledge jump, of course. That's the roll read. That's the game. 2 stock low percent. Big adaptation. Character switch. And, of course, that Hollow Bastion pick. Gonna be pretty good for Ken. Lammers picking Battlefield. I 100% agree. You have that top platform for a little bit more landing. You have the ability to recover high now, which is obviously going to be great because that corner pressure is definitely a little bit scary. Also, I wonder if there's like any extensions. You can obviously up air poke through the platform from like a short hop, so that can be really good. But yeah, I think just like needing to just understand exactly how Ashimo's getting in, and immediately is doing better, right? I mean, it's even compared to a 0 to death. So obviously going to be much better. Nice, dude, that option coverage was actually intense. So you had this bomb to cover the ledge jump. Sorry, the grenade to cover the ledge jump because it would have hit. The bomb to cover the neutral get up, and then just turns around and F tilts the roll. That was a lot of option coverage there. So again, Lammers really setting up a bunch of these setups and making it really difficult. Like it's just like a mental stack, right? That's kind of like what these type of zoners do, because it's not like a Samus zoner where it's like, I'm going to do one thing over and over again, and you know, you're just going to have to deal with it. Nice up smash, recognizing that spacing of the nair was not going to quite be there. But it's mostly just like a mental stack type of zoner where it's like, hey, I have a bunch of different patterns. It's kind of like Puff in Melee, where it's like, I have a bunch of different patterns. Each of them technically have an option that can beat them, but are you ready for each individual one? I'm not so sure. And that is the kind of mental stack that me gunner puts, which I know a lot of people don't like because people put themselves, like, they're just so empathetic and they put themselves in the shoes of the opponents dealing with it, and that's not very fun. But also, you know, if you play a bad character, even if they're a little bit cringe, you have to get your flowers just because it's impressive, right? It's hard to do super well with characters that aren't quite meta, and I would definitely say me gunner with theirs, the first ever major top 8, not exactly meta. Maybe not major top 8, but at least super major top 8, because I think maybe Capitancito has top 8'd like Level Up Expo when it's been a major, but either way, super major top 8. So I think I heard someone say that on commentary, and if that's wrong, then we're on Twitter somewhere. So if that's wrong, whoops, I'm gonna double check it before I upload it. Yeah, right now this Battlefield counter pick really doing nice things. I mean, the platform has been a little bit difficult. I love the forward smash there for the attempted ledge jump. I think was just a little too far. I think that was correct. Maybe expected a neutral get, maybe expected a roll instead of the jump. I'm not so sure. Again, the platform is really helping for recovery. It's a really, really big deal. And also that back air is really good and really safe. So, okay, so that Shoryu does go through the stage to kind of prevent that down B, which is why we're mostly seeing these grenades be the option when actually What? That was crazy. So he does this down B, which I'm pretty sure this up smash is to cover roll, but the little hit of the grenade actually combos into the up smash. So the grenade itself didn't actually hit. It just hits Ken towards me Gunner, and then it combos into up smash on the back hit, or no, it's attempted jump, so I didn't actually combo, but obviously I don't think Ashimo was ready for that, because why would you be ready for that? So it ended up working out, so Lammers now up a stock. Fair grab can combo, but a little bit too far in that instance, so it's not going to connect there, and also it's like the safest move on the planet, so you're never going to shield grab forward air. That would be crazy. And that's going to be some damage, 59% off of, honestly, just 2 hits, basically, because you had this, whatchamacallit, back air dash attack, which is going to be really good, and then you had this down B into Nair. Of course, down B itself doing like 12-15%, so it's going to be pretty good. Has to avoid that bomb coming back from that Shoryu, yep, but again, the spacing is going to be really nice. Ashimo trying to find a way down, but is unable to right now. He's kind of just struggling to get in, and then every time he does kind of get in, it's a Nair, it's a grab, it's a forward air, making it really, really difficult. Misses the parry there. Dash attack for the a little bit, not like an overshoot, but just like farther than you would expect. Up air going to break through that focus as well. Missed the dash grab. Was correct though, but just me Gunner's dash grab is like one of the best dash grabs in the game, so honestly was too good, so it went too far, which is very, very funny. The bomb's going to protect the roll. Yeah, that's kind of the struggle, and then you jump in, get up smash, and that is going to be a 2-stock, 66%, almost 6-7, and that is going to be 2-1 for Lammers. And Ashimo going to kind of pick back to small battlefield. I think it's full DSR, so, you know, was not able to go back to Hollow Bastion, which is obviously going to be great. And small battlefield, even though it is similar to Battlefield, of course, that lack of top light will be nice because you can jump, double jump a little bit more in approaches as, oh, even be back to Ryu as well. Ken not getting enough single hit damage, I think. And also the red fireball is just a nice way to get through a bunch of projectiles. Because sometimes it goes through, I think maybe, no, it's not transcendent, but sometimes it just goes through things. Yeah, a lot of pressure. Tried to down smash or neutral get up. Ashimo choosing the correct option in that instance. That's going to be, oh no, missed the combo. So unfortunate there for Lammers, doesn't get anything. But again, when you get, like, the thing about zoners is every time you get the stage position, that's going to be so good for you because that is going to be so many interactions that the opponent has to get through in order to actually hit you. And of course, at this point, just holding center, saying, hey, I'm good. Up air, down tilt, not even going to kill, dude. Ryu is so heavy. Nice B reverse focus there to get out of it. But these forward airs are going to be so good. Lammers understanding what the priority is right now, which is, hey, I need to not get hit, and eventually I will get a hit that leads to a kill, but it is not that big of a deal. There's already a bunch of rage, and that upper is going to do it. It did cross up for some reason, so that is going to be first stock for Lammers. Again, I like this type of zoning. I think it's pretty, like, fun when there's a bunch of different options, and I do think that it is, you know, a lot more difficult than people would think. It's similar to Duck Hunt, right? It's like a lot more difficult to play these type of characters as opposed to the one-button zoners of, you know, Samus, where it's just like, I have one super strong move. Like, none of me Gunner's moves are nearly as good as Charge Shot. And so that's why you have to, like, cycle them, and they all do different things, and you can definitely get punished for doing the wrong thing just like that. They're full hopping, trying to get out of the way, and Ashimo read it with that back air, and, you know, there's not, like, as much combos as, you know, I'm just a Samus hater, actually, even though my name is Eric Samus, but, you know, they did her dirty in this game. I don't know. They've done her dirty since Melee. I don't know. Ooh, nice nair for the ledge trap. Yeah, but the roll gets through, and even though it's going to be damage, that is still actually getting hit by a bunch of Hadokens there. Yeah, actually hasn't been able to deal with these projectiles. No double jump right now, so Ashimo's going to go off stage, try to get this back here, but no, Lammers are doing a really good job of understanding when Ashimo is going to go off stage and just recovering from further away and not holding in, which a lot of people would do, but that's the Tatsu. No, it's not going to kill me Gunner, a little bit on the heavier side. Wouldn't say a heavy character, but definitely not a light character. I think it's like the heavier midweights. Parries that backer, but again, the spacing going to be real good from Lammers, understanding the spacing is more important than the move itself, and it has been really, really difficult for Ashimo to close out these stocks, and now we're going to see a couple missiles come out, a lot of coverage here with these bombs on platforms, makes it really difficult. Try to hit a ledge jump there, that would have been the stock, the grab barely missing. It's kind of crazy that the grab even connected, considering how far it was. Dash attack on the landing. Does Ashimo have a jump? Yes, he does, but this is the scary part, and this is like the perfect spacing for these grenades, and the missile to cover the ledge jump, again, baiting and punishing these options, I feel like has been doing such a good job. There's another up air on the ledge jump, because like at that point, what do, right? You can't roll because you're at risk of forward smash or F tilt or up smash or something. You can't neutral get up because the bomb is just going to hit you, so you kind of just feel like you have to ledge jump, but then was not ready for the next situation. Tried to hold forward, had to just be a little bit more passive, passive, and then got hit by an up air because of it. So that is now Lammers one stock away from, I believe, if winner's top 32, I think that means the round before winner's quarters. So I think winning this would put him in winner's quarters versus, I believe, Sonics. Yeah, nice dash grab. Again, the ledge trapping going to be so good. Like, he came back with so little damage, but for some reason, it's kind of crazy to me that forward air does 10. It's like, it was a really good missile, and then the forward air just adding damage. And 61, you are just going to slowly take damage. The bomb there was perfect for covering the ledge jump. Again, that's similar to Samus, where you really have to be very careful and be paying a lot of attention to exactly which spacing of these projectiles they are doing in order to ledge jump or neutral get up. Because like they're all slightly different, and you have to just know, which comes down to match experience, right? But how many people play Mii Gunner on Elite Smash? Maybe a couple more, but in general, at a top level in a tournament, pretty much no one. Ashimo basically one hit away from dying, getting sent into loser's bracket, and that is going to be the one hit, and it is going to be a pop-off for Lammers getting into winner's quarters, where eventually he lost to Sonics. I think maybe he took a game, but either way, Sonics knows that matchup so well because of Capitancito also being in Vegas a lot. So we are now going to go into the losers top 8 qualifier, because I lied and I changed my mind. We're not going to be watching Game Watch. We're going to be watching him versus Shattuck, because I feel like you gotta show the getting into top 8 game, even though I love Shattuck and I didn't want to feature him losing. So now we have Mii Gunner versus Corrin. Same moveset, so we're not going to experience anything different. And again, the concept will be here. Honestly, I feel like Shattuck played this set pretty well overall, because I did watch this live, even though I don't remember the specifics. But I do remember that like one of the best things you're supposed to do versus Gunner is kind of approach at a 45 angle, kind of like what people say you're supposed to do versus Min Min. Because your aerials can go through all the projectiles and you can still pressure, and that's basically what Shattuck does, right? He has Nair to kind of come down on these projectiles, as well as up air, which was actually a really good choice right there. And of course, the arrows are pretty safe. Gunner does not have great out of shield options when you're not running that frame force spiking super strong uppy that sucks at recovering, which is why they don't run it. Yeah, but these bombs going to go through, going to be a little bit difficult. That's going to be a bomb hitting to the right into the up air. Lammers very ready for it, but not going to get the kill quite yet. That's going to be a guaranteed grab. Yep, he saw it. He waited to confirm that this was going to hit shield because he wasn't 100% sure exactly what was going to happen. Obviously, there was a tech chase, but that kind of aiding him in, oh, I can just kind of wait, get up attack, gonna get punished with the bomb into dash attack. Shattuck also had quite the run. I forget who he lost to in winners, but I know he beat Shiny Mark in losers in a grueling reverse 3-0. Had a lot of really impressive wins in losers. Considering Shattuck hasn't been playing a lot recently, I'm very happy to see him kind of return to form, even though he did not end up getting this top 8 due to this pesky little Mii Gunner. Ooh, nice up air back. You're going to be some good damage. Shattuck trying to keep the movement clever as well, making it hard for, of course, Lammers to react to exactly what's happening, because you have to create some ambiguity in your play. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how good the options are. It's just going to be pretty easy to hit. Running back and shooting that projectile as well is saying, hey, I can take some out of Mii Gunner's book, and honestly hasn't taken that much damage, so that's going to be the Nair back air, going to even up the stocks, even though Lammers had quite the lead. But again, Shattuck in advantage state, one of the scariest players in the world, has probably like a top 5 or 10 advantage state of all players in this game. Movement, keeping it clean. Shattuck knows that he has plenty of time to approach. He doesn't have to immediately get in and, you know, get a bunch of damage. He can just kind of jump on these platforms and wait and find his opportunity. Does so. Now he has the 20% lead and reacts to the recovery high, but unfortunately the back air came out a little bit too late and tries to pin out of there. Doesn't want to be stuck in the corner. And now he's back into the, hey, I can just jump around and be a little bit passive. Because again, oh no, bad DI. Was not expecting this back air to come out. Probably expected an up air, which makes sense, and didn't react to the RAR. So Lammer's going to be down a ton of percent right now. Or not ton of percent, down a stock, which is a lot. Because like Mii Gunner, again, sometimes struggles to kill, especially when Shattuck's been playing so well around these projectiles right now, just understanding the patience of it. I feel like when you live in Texas, you are kind of forced to be in demon mode all the time because you're like the character representatives. The character representation there is kind of crazy. And so you just generally have strong tools to deal with all these different types of things because there's like a bunch of Steves and a bunch of Robs and a bunch of camping characters. So you're just like, well, I'm ready for all this, even if you don't particularly know this matchup specifically. Oh, nice. Gets the shield there. So unfortunately for Shattuck, that's going to be a guaranteed grab, and Lammers was ready to capitalize on it. Gonna up air through that projectile as well. Can't get... Up smash is huge. That move is broken. That move is so good. I can't believe that... Look how far Shattuck was holding to the right, I'm pretty sure. Okay, no, that one he held in. I thought he held away again. I was about to say. 50% onto Lammers, which is a little bit scary because that is like fair Dragon Fang shot percent. You know, just generally that's going to be strong advantage. And again, Shattuck just comfortable running backwards, knowing, hey, you're not really getting anything done by shooting these projectiles as long as I don't run into them. But unfortunately started running into them, and that's going to be now a 20% lead. Read the spot dodge as well. Honestly, Lammers, because of like the repetitive nature of these advantage state, he is so good at scouting out the defensive options. He's covering a lot of rolls, a lot of spot dodges in ways that most players don't. Like, I feel like that's one thing that kind of gets underappreciated by these zoners, is like, they are so good at reading defensive options. Of course, like, their character's good at putting you in those positions, but still, you have to still react and notice in technically a way that is, in theory, like, unreactable. Like, you can't react to every single thing at once, so they're just so ready for like specific rolls and spot dodges, understand the habits really well, and now has Shattuck at a pretty high percent in the corner, a little bit uncomfortable. Another 15% from that grenade. Of course, it's going to be so... Oh, God. Oh, I think that was the grenade, not the missile. Although I think the missile would have killed. Okay, scary. Fair. Okay, it gets the pin as well. Shattuck going off stage. I forgot that that happened, dude. It's so sick. You can see him kind of pop off like, what happened? So in this position, right, I want to explain why this is good. So fair. The back air wasn't going to hit, but obviously you don't want to air dodge there because a lot of times Corrins will jump there and then do nair into up air, which will probably be the kill at that percent. So you don't air dodge, so the pin comes out. Shattuck then jumps and does a reverse pin to then kick off stage, because in this position, I'm just going to go back a little bit, me gunners will oftentimes do a projectile. If they're facing towards the stage, they will do a projectile away from the stage and then go for a forward air to recover a lot further. So he does that. You see jump into grenade into this forward air, and then Shattuck was just in the perfect position to punish with a Dragon Fang shot, which is the best forward-facing move that he has in this position because he can't pin again. Up air sends up, so maybe DI in's not going to kill. Forward air also won't kill because it sends like more vertically. So this was just a perfect choice by Shattuck. Honestly, so sick. He is so good at this game, and that is going to be 1-0 for Shattuck. And Lammers a little bit upset, didn't realize that Corrin could get that far. Sometimes you're not looking at your opponent when you get hit really far because you're making sure that you're doing the right recovery things. Just wasn't ready for him to be there, and that is going to be 1-0 for Shattuck. And Lammers saying, hey, I DI'd. Honestly, it wasn't even the last stock that was bad. I feel like the DIing poorly on the nair, or sorry, the fair back air, at like, he went to like 85 or something and died. Can't be doing that, especially against Corrin. You got to make them work for their still very good killing. So I think that's mostly the issue of like, hey, that doesn't happen, I should be fine. But Corrin immediately, or rather Shattuck, doing such a good job at the moment of pressuring, but air dodge is there, so now we have an even game. Again, even though Me Gunner doesn't have like a lot of combos, the individual moves do a good amount of percent, so you do rack up the damage still very quickly. Nice dash attack again, understanding the corner pressure that he's establishing with all these projectiles, and just is so ready to cover multiple options, has different follow-ups, and understands the up air there. I love that down air attempt. That was super clever because you would punish the re-grab. It's just Me Gunner's down air kind of sucks, so it's hard to time that correctly. But okay, gets a dash, or sorry, a shield grab as well. Has the frame 6 grab super far as well. So it's one of the best shield grabs and one of the best dash grabs in the game for sure. Oh, was that the final hit of the... Oh, is he going to be able to recover? No, he's not. A little bit too low. I think that was the final hit of the grenade, actually, to framing Shattuck, so he didn't get his double jump back, unfortunately. So unable to recover there. The forward air would have killed if Shattuck was closer, so Shattuck has to, like, back up a little bit and then ends up not being able to recover. So that is going to be first stock for Lammers this time. Double up tilt. Okay, gets the back hit of that. Oh my god, he's dead, right? That's just a nair. Yeah, it is going to be the stock through the invincibility of this up B. No double jump is going to be so brutal if you get hit back off stage, and that back hit of the nair, definitely Shattuck wasn't ready for it and didn't expect that dash attack either, so that nair through. That's going to be a 3 stock to 1 stock lead. Again, Me Gunner can go edge guard, only against certain matchups for the most part, but, you know, it's one of those stuff like, why would you when you can ledge trap? But the reason why you would is because people are expecting the ledge trap, you know? Sometimes you gotta have to get around what people are thinking. Like, even though the ledge trapping is theoretically stronger, right, you still can do something that people don't expect and therefore get big mileage out of it. That's just like a part of Smash Bros, right? You can't just always pick the safest and best option unless your name is Sonic. Oh, Nair, wow, that didn't kill. Me Gunner's heavy. Yeah, and recognizing the adaptation, dude, and Shattuck was ready for it. The adaptation here for Lammers here was really good because he gets hit in a similar position where he has to do this like double jump projectile, and then recognizing, hey, if I go for the exact same thing I went for last game, I will die. So he actually doesn't, and then Shattuck pinned towards the stage which is a PS2 because there's like the little wall there, the little lip, stalls the recovery, and then gets a back air. That was just perfect by Shattuck. He's still down an entire stock and also 45%, so it's not looking good, but he's still very ready for these positions. Sometimes you gotta just show yourself you're not out of it. Ooh, ow, big damage. Ow! Oh my god, that combo by Shattuck was so much damage. Has the advantage state as well. The air dodge, but no, the chomp doesn't hit. That's just gonna be a nair back air? No, but then punt. Dude, Shattuck is so good. He's insane. You can kind of see Shattuck laughing. He's like, oh my god, I'm doing crazy stuff right now. But damn, that was an incredible stock by Shattuck. Literally ended in one hit. That's what I'm talking about with Shattuck has some of the best advantage states in the entire world. And really putting it on display, but Lammers just like, please, just don't hit me, please stay away this entire rest of the set, which, hey, that's what Gunner does. So it's not going to be the craziest thing to happen, but definitely needs to keep this Demon Corrin away. I feel like the 100% mark against me Gunner is really when that starts to become threatening, where forward smash at ledge is going to kill. Maybe some backers will kill up smash. Honestly, might kill at 100, even though Corrin's kind of heavy. But again, Shattuck really just jumping around these platforms, not being too aggressive, not being too stupid with how he's approaching. He's not just like, I need to get in right now. He's kind of just like taking his time, trying to bait out different options by Lammers. But Lammers, to his credit, is not really biting, which is really, really impressive, right? That's, of course, like one of the more difficult things about zoners is when people are getting relatively close to you, do you immediately panic? Do you roll to center? Do you do your burst option? Or do you kind of understand, hey, maybe this isn't the bad position, catches the spot dodge there with that back air. So again, wasn't even trying to, oh, is there a double jump? I don't know if there is. Yeah, there is, okay. But either way, these, oh, grenades, the slingshot with the forward air for Lammers, getting some damage. These bombs, these grenades kind of making it difficult for for Shattuck to get back to the stage. That's going to be good damage. Nair not going to punish the air dodge there. That's honestly huge. That could have been at least Nair back air, gotten some type of ledge trap position, but instead we are back into neutral. And again, Shattuck doing the same thing, kind of just jumping around, not being too greedy. But again, the spot dodge read, this is what I'm talking about. Lammers is so good at those because, like, you've seen him panic a lot of time. You've seen him go for a bunch of rolls, and I don't, like, blame him for doing so. I think those are, like, good and smart, kind of as I talked about. Nice uppy as well on disadvantage. It's basically a super good directional air dodge. But then understanding, hey, sometimes you're going to panic, and I don't have to be the one panicking. And understanding that little flow is, ow, actually really good for me Gunners, and that is going to be a grenade. You see Lammers pretty excited about that because the threat of Shattuck is crazy, right? It is so good. So I don't blame Lammers for popping off there because, God, Shattuck is terrifying, and any game you can take from him is going to be a good one. But hey, he gets 2 more. Shattuck going to counterpick to Battlefield, which a little bit scary given the fact, I mean, that we know this, right, where he counterpicked Ashimo here. Zoners generally do well on Battlefield, so it is a generally scary pick, but also sword characters generally do well on Battlefield, especially vertical sword character, advantage state characters like like Corrin. So I feel like the advantages here are really strong, but sometimes, it's one of those things that you talk about where I think I mentioned in the last video where sometimes you have to counterpick against your opponent more so for yourself, because even though this is a good stage for Shattuck, I mean, he might just not have known that this is a super good stage for me Gunner. But like sometimes you have to just be like, hey, that's a zoner. They're going to want, like, you don't want the long stages like PS2. You don't want long stages like Town and City, but then also not wanting Battlefield is like a little bit scary. I don't know what the correct choice necessarily would be, considering the fact that, Lammers probably banned FD. Well, no, he probably banned Smashville, but FD not going to be great because then you don't have platforms to kind of jump around. But now, look at this dominance by Lammers right now. Has a ton of percent, and just has barely gotten hit this game. Oh, that was up smash. That could have been the stock. Gets the jump, but no, not going to get the follow-up there. I mean, read the jump and had the advantage there, but again, we do have that top platform, letting Lammers get out of that situation with that uppy. It's going to be huge for the disadvantage, which again, if you can get 1 or 2 more neutral positions as me Gunner, getting in on Gunner is pretty difficult, especially one as, honed in and, optimized as Lammers. But again, I like this type of play. I think it's kind of fun to watch, like, these zoners go to work sometimes. I know that probably not going to be a ton of people watching this video because people don't like me Gunner, but I wanted to definitely give this awkward character their flowers. And hey, if there's anything I like, it's awkward characters. Lammers taking the first stock, and again, is just trying to rack on any type of damage on Shattuck, who's been very difficult to hit, to his credit. It has been really, really difficult, but also, is it more important that you're difficult to hit or your opponent, the zoner, is difficult to hit? Oh no, air dodges into that. That's going to be like 30%. Bomb going to hit there, so now we have the ledge trap position. Was not ready. The up air was a little bit off. I guess the bomb was a little bit further. up tilt. Look at this damage already doing about 100% in this stock, and Shattuck really hasn't been able to get anything, and that's kind of the power of Battlefield, the strength. Forward are going to be safe, so the forward tilt does punish that shield grab attempt, and trying to hit the neutral get up, or the jump does hit the jump, and that is going to be 3 stocks to 1 now for Lammers. Again, just is so ready for these positions. Again, if you put your opponent in enough of the same position, you can start reading their options. But again, doing that over your like flow chart is just really, really important. And sometimes it can be difficult when you're playing these zoners. Oh, nice nair, gets the grab on the nair on the spot dodge, which was a super good nair, so you can combo grab into another nair. That's going to be good damage. And again, looking like potentially a 3 stock right now against one of the best players in the world, the best Corrin in the world for sure. You know, even though Nao did good this tournament, Nao also did well. This was a good tournament for Corrin, even if they didn't get top 8. Yeah, up air through the bomb and also hitting Me Gunner, but again, that's a risky proposition. Forward smash, is he going to get through? Yeah, there's no shield pressure anymore, so he did not get hit by that forward smash. It's so important to not get hit by that. And Lammers knowing the counterplay, but does get back aired, so he has a chance. Fair pin, going to do a solid 30, needs to keep Lammers at this edge, but that's exactly when the get up attack is perfect to get out of the corner. The grenade going to hit as well, no double jump right now on Shattuck, so you do see these grenades coming out, super missile as well. Yeah, this is just hard. This is a hard position to be in. Shattuck finds it with the top plat, so he does get out of that position. The top plat giveth and the top platform taketh away in terms of, I guess it's giveth and it giveth to your opponent, so not necessarily taking away. So Shattuck still trying to find his way in, but again, this is like 1 or 2 hits away from dying. That's 1. Is the next one going to kill? No, because it's a grab, but 1 more actual hit maybe? Curious. Yeah, and this is just going to be rinse repeat, hitting below the ledge, so it is just 2 framing, and that is going to be the stock. Hey, Gunner's a good, that's a good move. I was going to say Gunner's a good character, but that's not necessarily true. And he's just, you know, laughing to the crowd. He's like, I just get to hit B, because hey, characters are good sometimes. Beastly with the coaching. Or no, got him more water, that's what it was. Shattuck making sure to take his time in that game. Gonna go to Hollow Bastion, which we did see Ashimo have a lot of success here. That was the 1 victory that he got in that game. But will this center platform make it difficult to approach when Lammers has stage control? I don't know. Maybe you don't necessarily have to be as you know, focused on backing up and getting into the corner. Maybe you can just kind of try to keep your stage control. Honestly, doesn't even need a stage control, has just had Shattuck in a bad position. The forward smash was correct, but a little bit late, and the get-up attack going to ruin that advantage for Shattuck, and now Lammers back under the platform, actually pressing his positions pretty heavily. He's now using all of this data and all this ammo to be a little bit more aggressive. He does get punished for it, though, so probably immediately going to go back to his old ways. Oh my god, that Dragon Fang shot was insane. Gets it, but yeah, the high recovery, you have to cover the high recovery. It is so good for Me Gunner. Like, that up B is just so good at recovering super high. Nice DI, though, by Lammer, so he's not going to die. And does recover high yet again. You have to keep that position. It's so important. Oh no, Shattuck accidentally running into that grenade. That is going to be a bad position. These grenades now coming out. If you time your ledge option wrong, he didn't, so it's fine, but still very scary. And that's going to be a point blank grenade, which guarantees that grab. And now back in these positions. The missile's not hitting the ledge jump, but again, the center platform really helping Lammers right now. He's not able to do any full hop pressure above him. Sorry, Shattuck is not able to do any full hop pressure above Lammers, which is making this very difficult for Shattuck to get in. This center has been so useful, and now, of course, if you do back up, it's going to be less expected, which just adds to that mental stack that you kind of have to deal with when you're fighting a zoner. Fair going to come out, dash attack, and now we have another ledge trap. Nice timing on that, but does end up getting grabbed out of it anyway a little bit later. Yeah, there's grenade there. There's Nair that can cover platform. This stage seems pretty good for Me Gunner. I mean, those platforms just going to make it super hard. And understanding, hey, this is really scary position. I actually really like this disadvantage here. Sorry. I really like this disadvantage here by Lammers. He's like, hey, I get hit by this Nair, I think it is. He's like, I'm going to back up in forward air. Like, I don't want to mess with that up air airspace. That is so good for you. And so Shattuck's thinking, okay, now he's going to go to ledge. And he immediately changes it up. He's like, actually, if you up aired, it would have been good. And I'm just going to go to the platform. That was very, very clever for Lammers. He does end up getting hit by that up air there, but still, I like making that a little bit more difficult for Shattuck to deal with. Ends up getting the stock in basically the same advantage state, so it didn't super matter, but I still like how he played that. Again, those are the type of things you need to be paying a lot of attention to, both against and as Mii Gunner, because, or just like zoners in general, right? You have to understand their escape options, you have to understand their weird options, and then you have to understand what your opponent's thoughts processes are when you're using certain options, right? The passivity leads to good aggression, aggression leads to good passivity, so it kind of is this cycle of difficulty to deal with both offensively and defensively for both characters, and it's a beautiful part of Smash. Ooh, gets the air dodge. That's going to be good damage for Shattuck. Yeah, about 40% I think from that combo. Has the offstage position, so the ledge trap can be good. No, but again, it's so hard to ledge trap this character when there's a billion options you got to look out for, that then they can just kind of neutral get up. No double jump. Gets the punish, but yeah, gets it back when touching that stage. So, oh, the dash not going to whiff, though, a little bit more of a commitment, but look at how far he was able to get back into center of stage. Does get hit for it, but either way, Shattuck trying to keep this advantage to the back air, barely whiffing. Again, jumping around the platforms, not trying to get too greedy. The nair not hitting. Unfortunate there for Shattuck, but that nair is going to into the strong back air and is going to be stock for Shattuck. He's up. Uh-oh, the ledge trap. Yeah, that grenade, no double jump right now. A little bit scary. Trying to down tilt 2-frame. No, just goes for the down B. And the hold down there. Yeah, that would have been a down tilt. Probably would have been the stock. Those down tilts are very powerful. The Samus / Mii Gunner down tilt. And yeah, gonna 2-frame yet again. One more strong grenade will just straight up be the stock, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't find it and misses the grab. So Shattuck back in neutral, is able to get anything. Let's see. Yep, gets a rapid jab. Not able to jump because that grenade is covering the platform. A lot of options covered right now. Lammers making it really difficult for Shattuck to get any type of percent. Finds another grenade, but a little bit more towards center, so it's not going to hit. But that one off stage will be the kill. Shattuck kind of scratching his face going, that was a little bit not, I wasn't paying enough attention. Gets nair dash attack, and now Lammers has the lead. Runs into a super missile. That is scary. That's a lot of momentum, you feel like, getting hit by these random projectiles as well. Not necessarily going to be the strongest ones. I mean, it was just a weak missile, but you know, it's still, and rolling to where the bomb is as well, making it really difficult for Shattuck to want to cover that option. And yeah, just unable to get a hit. Lammers now tacking on the percent. Shattuck trying to find a way in, but the platform has not been good for him in this game. Okay, but gets a fair. No, the fair misses. That's kind of crazy. I guess it was barely too low percent. Gets the tech in place read. Is ready for recovery high, but that time Lammers doesn't go for it. Again, understanding a lot of the different positions. Oh my god, that pin was so close. How close was this pin to going to game 5? Does it tick? Does it spark? Oh, dude, that is so close. Really, again, good recognition by Lammers, always ready for these different recoveries, recovering high, recovering away. That's so important. Nice reversal there as well, which is going to grant him stage position, although Shattuck was ready for it, so he does. Oh, but the dash attack under, that was so good. Shattuck was ready for the roll because he knew that the stage position was important. The Dragon Fang shot could have been good, but unfortunately not going to be there. Forward smash will be the kill. Yes, it will be. The second regrab is just scary. I don't necessarily blame him for going for it. I mean, roll and jump and neutral get up all would have been hit there. So he just needed to know to hold on to the ledge, but also you guys scared of like run up down smash, which can hit the ledge. A lot of things to be ready for, and Lammers pops off his first top 8 at, I believe, any major, and it's a good one to top 8, port priority 9 with the super major. His NorCal friends popping off with him. Again, really, really good run. Had a lot of good wins. Like, those are not easy wins. Shattuck, Oshimo, Monty, those are really good opponents, and I'm pretty sure some of the people in his pool were also difficult. So, really good run for him. Congrats. Funnily enough, Lammers has come into my stream a couple times being like, hi, you should cover this run, and I look at his wins and I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it for like people to watch Mii Gunner because people don't like Mii Gunner, but this one absolutely is. Congrats to him yet again. I will be going over a couple of other people from this tournament, probably Toriguri, probably Jagabata. If there's anyone else, let me know. As always, social media and partner stuff is down below, and I will see you all next time. Peace.